What I want to talk about in this movie is how you can add additional categories to a plant list or plant schedule. Here's the one of the standard OzCAD schedules, and you can see we've got categories for trees, shrubs, ground cover, grasses, climbers and aquatic plants, but there are actually a lot more categories in the plant database that you may wish to use. Now here I've got an example of one each of these 6 items that appear in here. This one at the bottom here is actually a herb, and you'll see that it's not being listed in here. So in this movie I'm going to show you how you can add an additional category in here to display herbs. Now just to backtrack a little bit, this worksheet came from the Tools menu, Reports, Choose Schedule, and here we get the list of our schedules, and the one that we are working with here is this one here, the OzCAD plant list, separate species plus size with images. So we've got this on the drawing now. To edit it we can double click and that will open the worksheet for editing. And I'll just make the window a little bigger. Now the first thing you need to do in order to edit a worksheet is to turn on the rows that contain all the formulas. These are known as the database header rows, and if you click on this little icon here and we go down to database headers, you'll see that the formula rows will all appear. Now each of these rows is based on reporting the plants that are in a particular category, and we can look at the row formula for each of these rows by mousing down in this first column here in the cell that has a little diamond in it. So if I just hold the mouse down in this cell, this little menu will appear, and what we want to choose is Edit Criteria. And you'll see here that this is saying field value, category, and the category is from the plant record, is tree, and really this text here is the only thing we need to concern ourselves with. So that's the formula for the first row. So what we're going to do is to duplicate this last row, or any place where you want to put it. It doesn't have to be the last row. Let's say it's these 2 rows here. We'll duplicate these 2 rows, and then we'll modify the code. Now when you want to duplicate a row or 2 rows or 3 rows, you select the number of rows you want to duplicate. So in this case it's 2, so we've selected rows 9 and 10 here, and then we can go up to the menu here and choose Insert and Rows, and it's going to insert 2 blank rows here. Here they are here. So the next thing to do is we want to copy out the information that was in these rows and paste it into these rows. So we'll do this one first. So we select the whole row, we go Edit, Copy, select this row, go Edit, Paste, and we are going to be looking for herbs here. So while we're here, I'm going to change this text to herbs, herbies. Let's get the spelling right. Finally, there we go. And then we want to copy this row 12. So again, I've selected row 12. We'll go Copy and click here, and I'll just paste from the keyboard. And you'll see what's happened is it's just given us a replication of what was down here. So what we need to do now is to edit this row formula here and change it from being grass to being herb. So as I did a moment ago, we we just click in this cell here, choose Edit Criteria, and you'll see here it says grass, and we want to change this to say herb. Now the spelling here is very important. We use singular terms for all of these. So this category is tree, shrub, ground cover, herb, grass, and so on. And I'll show you how you can check the category name in a moment. So we're going to put herb in there. That's all we need to do. We click OK, and then we can click the little tick box up here to confirm that change. You can see that's the formula there, plant record category equals herb. Click the tick box, and essentially that's it. You can see now it's reporting this this plant here correctly. So we've got all plants in the drawing being reported. So that's basically how you can do it. If there are categories that you aren't using, obviously you can also change them. Rather than adding a new category, you can just change one of the existing ones. For example, you may not have any aquatic plants and you want to have herbs. Well, just change the aquatic plant section to herbs. Or you may want to set the worksheet up so that it can actually list anything that you use. And some projects will have herbs and aquatic plants, some won't, and so on, but you'll at least have space for them in the worksheet. Now, just to be able to check what the category name is, if you double click on a plant and choose to edit the definition and then click in the plant data tab, you'll see the category here, and that's the category name there is herb. And that, the spelling of that word there, or here it is here, has to be the same in the worksheet. So after having made the changes to the worksheet, it makes sense to save it out to a custom worksheet file so that you can access it in other projects. Now, there's a special location for this, and the first thing you need to do though is to create a Vectorworks file to store this particular custom worksheet in. The place that it needs to go is in your user folder, and we can locate that by going to the Tools menu to Options, Vectorworks Preferences, and then click this button, Reveal in Finder. And that will take us out to a folder called 2013, which is our user folder. And you can see I've got some user folders here for some older versions of Vectorworks. If I expand that, we are interested in libraries. I'll expand that, defaults, and then reports and schedules, landmark schedules. This is where we want to save the file, into landmark schedules. Now on Windows, let's look at the same thing there. We go to the Tools menu, down to Options, Vectorworks Preferences, we click User Folders, and then here it's the Explore button. And this will open that exact same folder we just looked at on the Mac. Here it is with those subfolders. The subfolder we're interested in is Libraries, so I'm going to double click that, and then Defaults, and scroll down till we get to Reports, Schedules, and then Landmark Schedules, and that's where it needs to go. Okay, so back on the Mac, I'm going to begin by creating a custom file. So I'll go to File, New, click OK, then we'll go Save As, and we'll call this My Schedules. And I've got a shortcut here to that folder. Here it is here, 2013, that's the folder we were just looking at. And we're looking for libraries, defaults, scroll down, and we have report schedules, landmark schedules. So that's where I want to put this file. So let's click Save. And we've got that file saved, so we can close that down now. And here we are back in the file, and I've clicked the little home button up here, and that is now displaying the contents of this particular file, and here's the worksheet that we customized. So best to change the name of it. So I'm going to right click on this and choose Rename, and we'll call this My Plant List, and click OK. And so the one final thing we have to do is now to export this from this file into the file that we just created. So we can right click on this, choose export, and this will take you straight to the user folder. It's not that one we want, it's not that one. You can see this is looking familiar. Libraries, user folder, defaults. So let's just close some of these off. Plants, and you can see here we are, report schedules, landmark schedules, and here's the file that we just saved into that place. So we select that, click OK, and essentially now it's done. And what this means is that if we open a fresh file now and go to the Tools menu, Reports, choose Schedule, you'll see now that that worksheet that we've customized and saved out there is now here in the list, and you can then use it in any future project.